Hey everybody, it's your girl Tanya with Books and Brown Liquor. Thank you for tuning in to another chapter. This is my book review of Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Boom. All right. So I just have to be honest. I had no intention of reading this book like ever. You see it everywhere. It's in Target, it's in the bookstore, it's at the library, and basically I got my copy from the used bookstore at my library, so like it was $1. I had no intention of reading this book. But I was like, well, it's $1, so let me see what all the hype is about. As I have always said, just because a book is super popular, it doesn't mean that like you're gonna love it too. So I think this book probably works for some people. For me, it was just okay. Now, I was like, oh, a book about a band in the 70s, like that's groovy, right? Sex, drugs, rock and roll with bell bottoms. Like, okay, I can dig it. I don't know why. I read like a book review somewhere and they were like, oh, this reminds me of Fleetwood Mac. This has nothing to do with Fleetwood Mac. This could be any band in the 70s. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, pills, Quaaludes, blow, dope, everything, every drug you can possibly think of is mentioned in this book. So what I did like, I liked the writing style. I liked how all of the members of the band, it's told from their point of views. So it's kind of like the story's told in kind of like a documentary type of way. This is not a true story in any way, shape, or form. None of these people are real. But all of these people are like recounting all the stuff that happened while they were in this band together. So it basically talks about like how the band came together, all of the members, the instruments they played, how they formed this band, how they wrote the albums, or the people that wrote the albums, how they recorded the albums, and then like, you know, them performing, going on tour. That's pretty much the gist of the story. Okay. It talks about their lives outside of the band, but it wasn't anything that like really like developed the plot. It was this book was very neutral for me. It didn't have like a lot of ups and downs, and it was just like the things you can pretty much imagine with a rock band in the 70s. But I think this book is slightly overrated in my opinion. I see this book everywhere. So finally I was like, Tanya, read the book. Everybody's talking about this book. There's a series on Netflix. I mean, not Netflix, Hulu. There's a series on Hulu, and I always read the book before I watch the series, most of the time. So like, after reading this book, I have no intention of watching the series. I guess in my mind, with the description of the main character, in my mind, I was thinking, this is Stevie Nicks. This is Stevie Nicks. No, it's not. It's not. So I have no intention of watching the series. I mean, I don't regret reading the book. I just don't see what all the hype was. For me, this was just like a 2. Okay, I don't. Daisy is a girl coming of age in LA in the late 60s, sneaking into clubs on the Sunset Strip, sleeping with rock stars, and dreaming of singing at the Whiskey A Go-Go. Her voice is getting noticed, and she has the kind of heedless beauty that makes people do crazy things. Also getting noticed is The Six, a band led by brooding Billy Dunn. On the eve of their first tour, his girlfriend Camilla finds out she's pregnant, and with the pressure of impending fatherhood and fame, Billy goes a little wild on the road. Daisy and Billy cross paths, then a producer realizes that the key to supercharged success is to put the two together. What happens next will become the stuff of legend. Legend? Not really. I mean, okay, I'm sorry. I just thought it was okay. That's just my opinion. It kind of reminds me of that movie Almost Famous, like how reckless the lead singer Daisy, she was absolutely reckless. Drunk, high, constantly popping pills, doing whatever the fuck she wanted. Now, actually, I did like her character. She was kind of a boss. She didn't take shit from anyone. That I did like. I do like strong women. Daisy was definitely a strong woman. If someone told her, hey, you should sing the song like this, she'd be like, nah, that don't feel right. I ain't doing it like that. I'm doing it like this. And they're like, bitch, like you just joined the group. Like, what you mean? She's like, yeah, I do what I want pretty much. That I did like. I did like. She was a fucking boss. She didn't take nothing from nobody. Okay, so that was fun. However, it did focus heavily like on her drug addiction. And like I said, sex, drugs, rock and roll. So I'm not gonna like trash it completely. There were things I liked. She was a thing that I liked. She was that person that people are drawn to. And she was talented. She did have a voice that made people listen and pay attention. So that was cool. That was cool. So the book is not all trash. It was just okay. But I will say she was my favorite character. So I think that pretty much does it, because everything I said on the back of the book is pretty much like the highlights of the story. That's pretty much the highlights of the story. So I think you get the point. For those of you that love Daisy Jones and the Six, I salute you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. For me, I appreciate that. I know we're all not gonna like the same stuff. I get that. So that concludes this book wrap up. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you good reading. Bye.